This will be some notes for the remainder theorem. I will post these notes and you'll have a better understanding of what these mean in a moment. We'll do a couple of examples. Okay, but for now, in order to find the remainder when dividing by x minus c, you plug in x equals c. In order to find the remainder when dividing by x plus c, you plug in x equals negative c. All right, so whatever you're dividing by, you change the sign of that, and that's what you're going to plug in. All right, and if you get 0 when plugging in x equals c, then x minus c is a factor. So in other words, if you get 0, that means the remainder is 0, and it divides evenly. So let's look at some examples. So this is from the dividing polynomials worksheet, okay? So we're taking this right here and we're dividing by m minus 8. And I have the answer posted on the screen. All right. And if you recall, when you get your remainder at the end of this division, you put the remainder over the part you're dividing by. So see here, you're dividing by m minus 8. And right here at the end, we have negative 3 divided by m minus 8, okay? So the remainder here equals negative 3. Now there's a way to find this remainder without actually dividing, all right? And the way to do that is to plug in the opposite sign that you're dividing by here. So you see here we're dividing by m minus 8. And what we're going to do is plug in x equals 8. Okay, so when you're dividing by m minus 8, you change the sign on this negative 8 and make it positive 8, and then you plug it in. Okay, plug it in for m. I said x equals 8. I should really say m equals 8, but it's the same thing. Okay, so this is actually m equals 8 that we're plugging in. All right, so let's evaluate this at m equals positive 8. Okay, we have m squared, so that's going to be 8 squared, minus 7m, so minus 7 times 8, and then minus 11. So all I did was plug in positive 8, and you can do this on the calculator, or maybe I could do it in my head. 64 minus 56 is 8, minus 11 is negative 3. So notice I got the remainder without dividing. I just plugged in positive 8 in place of m, and I obtained the remainder. So basically, you just change the sign and plug it in. Okay, please pause and see if you can get the remainder on number 3 right here. And remember, since we're dividing by n plus 5, you're going to plug in negative 5. Okay, and the remainder here is negative 7. All right, so see if you can plug in negative 5 and get negative 7. All right, so we change the sign n plus 5. We're going to plug in negative 5. And that's going to be in place of n. So n squared is going to be negative 5 squared. All right, use parentheses because the n is, the whole thing of n is squared. So it's negative 5 squared. Plus 10n, so it's plus 10 times negative 5. and then plus 18. All right, negative 5 squared is 25. 10 times negative 5 is negative 50. Plus 25, that's negative 25. Plus 18, that's negative 7. So as you can see, I got the remainder just by plugging in negative 5.